Alright, here's a little troubleshooting video we're going to make today. Probably 10-15 minutes long. Here's our phone number and web address if you happen to have a question, comment, something like that. Here's a couple parts that we can service periodically, but for right now, let's take a look at the lift and see what kind of troubleshooting we can do. Alright, this is a 2-post lift, but it's the same on a 4-post lift, and it's going to be very similar here on anybody's brand. Now, if you go up to your cylinder and you notice there's oil coming out of this breather, it's squirting out as the lift is going up under power. That means your seals are bad on the piston, or there's a piece of debris between the seal and the wall. So a lot of times you can pull that apart, clean that debris out, put it back in, and it's working. Sometimes you do have to replace the seal on that piston. We do have a video that shows you exactly how to do that. So when you're done watching this one, watch that one if you happen to have a seal problem. It's about a 20-minute job. You do not have to remove the cylinder, but like I say, probably 75% of the time, it's just a piece of debris between the cylinder wall and the seal, and you can just clean that and put it back together and you're working. Another issue we have periodically is people will call up and not quite understand how the pump and the fittings go together. On this, make sure you use this adapter fitting. Do not screw this directly into here. Guaranteed leak. So use this adapter, wrap it with about 5 layers of tape, screw it all the way in, lock down the jam nut. On the T fitting or the 90, do the same thing. Wrap it with about 5 layers of Teflon tape, screw it in as far as you can, lock down the jam nut, and you'll probably be okay. Now, once in a while, like this one, today we had a vehicle up on there, pretty heavy vehicle, and we did not have it on the lock because we were looking for a few things, and a little bit will seep out if you do not have the lift on the lock. Now that will happen on any lift. You lift it up long enough and do not have it on a lock, it's going to find some place to leak. Most often that's where it's going to leak, right there at that fitting. Another little issue we have periodically, we just had one the other day, which is why I'm making this video. The customer called up and said the carriage, the lift, is drifting down, and before he had a chance to release the red lever here. He got the vehicle up, immediately it started coming down as soon as he let off of the go button up here. All right? Now, always, the problem that we found to that is this valve right here. Take a socket, screw that with the lift down as far as it'll go on the ground, nothing on it, relieving your hydraulic pressure on the system. Screw this valve out. We'll take a look at that in a minute, but what happens is a little piece of debris, maybe a metal shaving, maybe a piece of a seal, maybe a little piece of dirt will get stuck in that check valve, and when that happens, it won't flush itself out. You have to take it out and clean it out. Then the carriage on the lift will start drifting down. So this check valve prevents that from doing that. There's a piece of debris in there. The carriage will start coming down. Now it's only going to go until it hits a lock. So, you know, it's kind of safe to use, but you need to take that out and service that. Another area periodically we get a call on is the hydraulic tank is full of air bubbles. The pump is getting really hot and it doesn't lift as high as it should. That's going to be almost always the release valve here. You have to remove this nut, remove this, and then there's another nut in there, kind of like on the check valve. Screw that out, and there's a piston and a seal in there, a little relief valve. And if you get a piece of debris in there, that'll cause that. Like I say, the big thing that'll cause there is the tank will aerate really bad. A lot of air mixed in with the hydraulic fluid. It won't go as high as it should, and the pump will get really hot because it's having to work twice as hard to get anything out. Another issue once in a while is this safety shutoff right here. As the lift, you have a vehicle up there to hit your safety bar or safety cable, it's going to cause this to pull up. When it pulls up, it shuts off the electric, the lift will not lift. Simple solution, just push this back down, hit your go button, and off it goes again. Those are some quickies, and now we'll take a look. And don't forget, I do get calls every week. Hey, I put my lift together, it's not working. Only goes up a little bit, don't go up at all. Well, every time we've had that problem, they've had it hooked up to 120 volt and not 220. This does require 220. There's 3 wires, a white, a black, and a green. The green is your ground or neutral. The white is a power wire. The black is a power wire. Hook that up correctly and the motor will work. I've never had a motor failure right out of the box. All right, now here's the check valves and the release valve that we looked at in the tank at the motor there a minute ago. Now here's the release valve that we were talking about. You remove the silver nut, then you remove the lever, and then you remove this piston. When you push down on the lever, it hits the plunger right there, pushes this in, lets the hydraulic pass through, the hydraulic fluid, and then the lift comes down. Once in a while, if you can see, there's a little fine screen here that'll get clogged up with Teflon tape or debris, or the piston here on the end will get a little piece of debris in there and not work correctly. So pull this valve out. It's very basic. Clean it up. Spray some carburetor cleaner on there, put it back in, and that should solve that problem. Then the other issue we have is the check valve that I was just talking to you about. Now this thing just screws out with a socket, and you see the holes going around here. The ball pushes in. The ball pushes in. The hydraulic pressure pushes the ball in, passes through, and then it allows the carriage to hold where it is. When you get a piece of dirt or debris blocking these holes, or mostly down inside here, you can't really see it, but there's a little piece of rubber in there. Not sure where it came from because I haven't removed the piece yet, and it traps between the ball and the end of this valve. When that happens, your carriage will automatically start coming down. The best way to clean that is with a little carburetor cleaner, some air, and a screwdriver. So I push this ball down, and then I blow it out through those side holes, and then also shoot some carburetor cleaner in there, make sure I get it all out. And sometimes I do have to use my little pick laying here beside this to pick it out, or a little piece of pliers, but almost always I can just push that ball down, blow out around the holes, get that debris out of there, carb clean it, put it back together, and that'll solve your carriage coming down by itself problem. Don't forget, you can always call us, send us an email, look at our website. This, of course, is on YouTube. And then I do have one other little thing I want to show you here real quick. Alright, this is the last thing we're going to take a quick look at. We get calls periodically about your equalization cable adjustment. Now, this is the way we do it, and we do, several hundred installs a year probably. On your back stem that's at the end of the cable, you'll see we have a nut on the bottom and a nut on the top. We snug those up, and we do not adjust that one. It'll come over to the other side, and then it will become this on this side. Same thing with the other, and it goes over and changes to like this. Now, like I say, on the stem, we have a nut on the bottom, the carriage, a nut on the top. We lock those down and don't adjust those. This is the one we adjust here. We put both the nuts on top so it's easy to get at. And you're going to adjust those two full turns at a time, and then run the lift up and down, probably twice. If it's not synced in side to side, do it again. And you'll just have to play with a little bit until you get it synced in right. Generally speaking, if you're adjusting this on this side, it's moving the carriage on the opposite side. So be careful when you do that. Adjusting this moves the carriage on the other side. And like I say, you make about 2 full turns at a time, cycle the lift all the way up, all the way down, and once both sides are clicking at about the same time, that means the locks are both clicking in at the same time, and you're done. Don't be afraid that when you put a different vehicle on there, it changes that, because it puts a little or more or less tension on those cables, and it will change. So it may click right in now, and tomorrow you put another car in there and it be off a little bit. But generally speaking, you'd like to have it click click, but most of the time it's more like a click click. The main thing is when you have the car up on the lift, you want it on the same lock on each side. So if it's 34 inches on this side, you want it 34 inches on the other side. Just remember, adjust those cables. When you pull on the cable with the stem, it should pull to you maybe an inch or so. The other cable, maybe 2 inches, because it's got a long stretch that it's going on. So you want to be able to have a little bit of slack in there. If it's really tight, it's probably lifting the carriage on the other side. So you need a little bit of play, but you don't want so much play in there that it ends up coming off of the pulleys on the top or the pulley on the bottom. So you want that cable tight enough it stays on the pulleys, but not so tight that it's lifting the opposite carriage. When you're bolting your unit to the ground, this is about what you would like to have. Maybe enough for another nut on top of that bolt. Flush is okay, or about another nut. Now what you do is you're going to stand these posts up, make sure they're level and plumb, and then drill all of your holes on one post, drop in all your bolts, and then start shimming until the bolts are tight at about 130 and the column is straight up and down. The more straight that is, the stronger it's going to be. And always remember, if there's a gap between the post and the floor, put a shim in there, because you'll never tighten that post up enough to pull it down, and you're never going to pull your concrete up. And when you're putting a lift together, make sure you tighten up your elbow that screws into the bottom of the cylinder, and your hydraulic fittings are secure. Don't go so tight with them that you break the nut, but just make sure you do that just so it doesn't leak. That's not very common, but once in a while we do. And like I say, if you do that, solve those few problems, that's probably going to take care of about anything we get on these lifts. They're really good lifts. We really have very few problems. We get more customers that do self-installs that maybe forget to read the directions or something. But it's a really good lift. We've had really good luck out of them. So when you're doing it, just do it slow. Make sure you do it right. If you have any problems, any questions, call whoever you bought it from. If they don't know, check maybe YouTube. There's a lot of other people on YouTube, and you'll be good to go. Thanks.